name's Hunter.
And my name's Kirsty.
Welcome to Dunoon Grammar School.
Let's find out what's been going on in the school this week. It looks kind of Egyptian almost.
We're here with our head teacher, Mr. Mitchell. It's glad to have you back, and how does it feel to be back?
It feels absolutely fantastic to be back in the school. Although I enjoyed my time at Hermitage Academy working with the staff and pupils, I've said to you before that Dunoon Grammar School and being the head teacher here is my dream job, so I'm absolutely delighted to be back in the building and thank everyone for their warm welcome back.
So what's been the highlight of this week for you?
There's been many highlights, but I think my main highlight has to be when we invited 3 former pupils to come back to the school to do a presentation to S4 to S6. Sam Coley, the founder of Samtech, Callie Russell, the founder of the app Malzy, and Ashley Baxter, who is an IT insurance company. The 3 of them shared their journey since they've left Dunoon Grammar School and spoke about having high aspirations and really reaching your potential while you're at school. So I think that has to be my highlight because it was a great message to give all our young people.
And what else has been happening in this first week back?
It's been a busy 2 weeks back since I've returned to the school. I said my farewells obviously to the staff and pupils at Hermitage Academy and did the handover to Mr Williamson, the new head teacher, and I wish him well in there. When I returned to the school on Tuesday the 24th, which was fantastic, it felt really good. I also attended a parent council meeting that evening, and we discussed a number of things, and minutes of that meeting can be found on our website. On Wednesday of the first week back, I attended and hosted the first of 4 primary 7 information evenings for our parents and carers about the transition, and the purpose of that evening was really to share as much information as possible about the transition, and the next one's going to be in January. On Thursday, our S2 pupils received a fantastic presentation from the Teenage Cancer Trust, and it was really about raising awareness about cancer, and the S2 pupils that I spoke to about that really enjoyed that input. And on the evening of that Thursday, our Leavers Dance Committee arranged a fantastic Halloween disco, and there was lots of fancy and scary costumes during that night, and even the staff managed to dress up, and as I say, I think Mr McCready's makeup was probably the best of the night. On the Friday, Mr Strathdean had arranged a staff trip to go and see Glasgow Warriors rugby game, so a number of staff went to that on Friday evening, and it was my first ever rugby game, and I really enjoyed it, and a big thank you to him. Our Young Enterprise group, Uptown Junk, had the opportunity of presenting all their products in a local shop on Saturday, and when I popped in to see them on Saturday afternoon, they had sold out, which is great. So again, I would encourage anybody to look at their Facebook page and think about Christmas presents, because they're fantastic products they have. So again, on Monday the 30th, I actually officially returned to my post as head teacher at Dunoon Grammar School. I just want to thank Mr Stewart, Mrs Campbell, Mr Gallinach and Mr Coulthard for leading the school during my absence. They did an absolute fantastic job. This week I've also started to meet with the principal teachers to discuss their departmental improvement plans and their SQA examination results from last session, and I really love these meetings because it gives me an opportunity to find out all the exciting things that are going on in each of the departments. On Wednesday I attended a local cluster meeting with all our associated primary head teachers, and then we were joined by the executive director and head of service in the afternoon, who gave us an update on the education service. And again, I would like to wish Lorraine Fisher, who is head teacher at St Muns, all the best as she takes up her new post as head teacher over in Inverclyde. Cairn Primary School have left us, and we are going to miss them. There's no doubt about it, but I want to wish them all the very best as they move into their new fantastic building, but it's been a pleasure hosting them over the last 18 months. We issued out our S2 and S3 tracking reports on Wednesday, and again I would encourage parents and carers to make sure that information is passed on to them, and our S1 pupils will be receiving their tracking interview over the next couple of weeks, and that information is going to be emailed over to parents so they can get that information. So that's really the last couple of weeks in a nutshell, if you like.
So what does next week have in store for us?
Well, on Saturday we're hosting Dunoon's annual Christmas fair, and try and get along, encourage as many people to get along as possible, but when they're there to visit the cafe, because the money we raise from that cafe is going to help cover the cost of our transition weekend to Benmore. Next week I'm going to be attending a number of authority meetings. I sit in a number of working groups to drive education forward in Argyll, so I'm going to be attending 2 of those meetings next week. On Wednesday the 8th of November, our Parent Council are hosting an evening in the school, and it's to invite as many parents to come along as possible, to give them an understanding of what the Parent Council does, and to discuss what it should be doing in the future, and how as a school we can work closely with the Parent Council. There's going to be nibbles and refreshments there, so please do come along. We're also going to have Esther Barrett from the Education Department there to help parents download the Expressions app, and again I would encourage as many parents to do that as possible, because that's how we're going to be communicating in future. On Thursday we hold Dunoon Grammar School's YPI Grand Final, which is always a great event, and the winning team is going to have the opportunity of presenting their chosen charity £3,000 in Dunoon. Last year Dunoon's winner was Dunoon's Men's Shed, and they obviously benefited from that. And on Friday we hold our remembrance services, and Mrs Thompson and Mr Glancy always arrange a fitting tribute for that event. Our prelim timetable is going to be issued to our S4 Test 6 pupils, so you've got plenty of time to start studying and getting prepared for it, but a copy of that will be on our website and on our Facebook page. We appointed Mr Alan Murdoch to our Maths department, who's going to be starting after the Christmas break on the 7th of January. Mr Johnson, our new deputy head, will be starting on the 20th of November. And this week we have Mr Corr in our English department. We've advertised our English post 3 times and we haven't been able to fill it. So we've been lucky enough to get Mr Corr for the next 4 weeks, who's a retired principal teacher of English from Campbelltown. He's very experienced, but I will keep parents updated on the progress of English.
I'd like to thank you so much for your time.
And we really look forward to hearing from you next week.
Good, thank you.